bunch of stretching. I'm setting up the other device real quick. I'm almost done. Is that about even? Oh wow. Let's see. Ah, that looks about right. Let's go. Ugh. Whew. Welcome back, everybody. I'm gonna adjust this light so it points a little bit more towards my face, and we're ready to begin. We're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, and to make the suffering we're about to do a little bit more fun, a little bit more enjoyable, a little less like suffering. So if you like side splits, if you like hip mobility, you want to practice a little bit more consistently, keep on coming back because we're live every day at 9 p.m. Eastern, and that is right now, or at least it was 3 minutes ago. Okay, let's go. We're going to start with our warm up. If you haven't done anything at all today, just start throwing your limbs around and trying to wake up. We're going to get into our first warm-up exercise. The first thing we're going to do is called hip cars, and they look a little bit like this. We're going to stand, then we're going to lift one leg up directly in front of us and lift that knee higher and higher and higher, as high as you can. All right. From here, we're going to keep the hips in the same spot. We're going to try and open up our hips to the side like this. We're going to open up our leg to the side, excuse me. From here, we're going to rotate and bring the ankle up, 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 up some more, up some more, up some more, oh, until your hamstring's about to cramp. Pause, bring that leg down and back. All right. Right now, when your leg is down and back, we want to flex the hamstrings, we want to flex the glutes, we want to feel the stretch right here in the front of the hip. This is called hip extension. And that is one rep. We're going to do 10 of those on the left side, 10 of those on the right side. And I got no more talking to do. Let's begin. Stand up next and stand up nice and straight. Keep that core nice and tight, and let's go. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more, down and back. That's one high knee. Open. Ankle up, down and back. That's two high knee. Open. Ankle up, down and back. That's three. Ooh, I got a hamstring cramp going. If you're feeling like you're a little bit off balance, feel free to hold on to something. All right, high knee. Open. Ankle up, down and back. That's four high knee. Open. Ankle up, down and back. That's five. Remember, hip cars are about getting your muscles to take your legs to crazy places you've never been before so that you get stronger while you get more mobile. Six. So if this is not incredibly difficult and painful, then you're doing them not nearly enough intensely. Oh, seven. Knee. Open. Ankle up, down and back. That's eight high knee. Open. Ankle up, down and back. That's nine high knee. Open. Ankle up, down and back. That's 10. Oh, that is our hip cars going forward. On one leg, we got the other leg to do. And we're going to start right away. Let's go. Stand up nice and straight. Keep the core nice and tight. And high knee. Open. Ankle up some more. Bring the leg down and back. That's one. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's two. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's three. High knee. Open. Ankle up, down and back. That's four. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's five. High knee. Open. Ankle up, down and back. That's six. High knee. Open. Ankle up, down and back. That's seven. High knee. Open. Ankle up, down and back. That's eight. High knee. Open. Ankle up, down and back. That's nine. Last one. High knee. Open. Ankle up, down and back. That's 10. Woo! If your hamstrings feel like they're about to cramp up because you were working so hard, bring that leg down and back, or you were trying to rotate that ankle up, and that is normal. That is okay. Whew. We're going to get ready to go in reverse. All right. What we just did was forward. In reverse, all the movements are basically the same, but there's one thing I want to highlight. When we go in reverse, the first thing we do is bring this leg down and back. Okay? If you get a little bit excited and you start kicking that leg out like crazy, like you're a martial artist and going, whoop-ah! One, you're probably not focusing on the right muscles anymore. Two, if you're doing the right general movement, you might be putting way too much pressure in your low back. All right? If we were to do them We want to bring that leg down and back, flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes, feel the stretch right here in the hip flexor. All right. If you go a little too hard, get a little too excited, and you kick too far back, you're going to start putting a whole bunch of pressure here in the low back where it's arching right here. All right. We don't want that arch to happen. We don't want the twerking to happen. We want to keep the core nice and strong. All right. So what do? One, stop kicking your legs so far back. Two, keep your core nice and tight. All right, that's it. Let's go. Stand up nice and straight. Hold on to the wall for balance if you need it. And let's begin. Core tight, leg back. Lift to the side. Rotate the ankle up. Rotate the ankle down. Bring the knee forward. And that is one rep. I'm going to do these facing you so it's a little easy to mirror. Let's go. Down and back. Ooh. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's one. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's two. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's three. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's four. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's five. We're halfway through. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's seven. Three more. Back. If you're off balance, feel free to stick your hand out. Hold on to something. I think that's eight. Two more. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's nine. Nine. Last one. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 10. Whew. It's not just the hip that's doing all the floppity, shakety stuff that's tired. The leg that's helping you stay balanced has to grip into the floor, has to hold you stable. So if your other leg is tired, that is also entirely, completely normal. All right. You might be able to hear in my breath right now. I'm a little bit out of breath. So I hope you all take a second, breathe, and get ready to finish up with our final leg in reverse. All right, let's go. Stand up. Ooh, I've gotten the feedback that I should slow down. Cool. We'll slow down. All right. Ready? Stand up straight. Keep that core nice and tight. And let's begin. Bring the leg down and back. Try to clench your glutes. Flex your hamstrings. Feel the stretch right here in the front of your hip. Try not to start folding. Try not to go sending your whole body forward. Just try to bring the leg back a little bit. All right. From here, we're going to lift that leg to the side. Whew. Directly to the side as high as we can. Feel the compression right here in that hip muscle. Then we're going to rotate the ankle up. Then we're going to rotate the ankle down. We're going to bring the knee forward. That is one rep. We're going to do 10 of these. Let's go. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's one. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's two. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's three. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's four. You don't know this, but requesting that we go slower actually makes everything significantly harder. 5. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 6. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 7. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 8. And when I say it gets harder, I mean it. I'm tired. We're going to take a break. Breathe. And then continue again. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 9. Last one. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 10. Woo! That is our hip cars. We've done 10 reps forward on each leg, 10 reps back on each leg, and now hopefully your hips are feeling like they move a little bit better. All right. That is our first warm-up exercise. If you're just joining and you're like, what is this guy doing? His leg going crazy right now. We're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day to practice the number one quality, consistency, to build a little bit of community, to make the suffering we're about to do on the floor a little bit more fun. So If you like consistency, if you like side splits, if you need a little bit of help, keep on coming back. We're live every day at 9 p.m. Eastern, aka 10 minutes ago is when we started. All right, let's get on up and get into warm up exercise number 2. Second thing we're going to do is a little bit more chill. We're going to fold at the hips. We're going to bring our belly buttons down towards the ground. Fold, 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 fold some more, fold. Whew! You have a tight low back because you just sit in the chair a lot and your back is nagging you. That's okay. Just try your best to relax, breathe, and while you're chilling here for a second and letting your back muscles relax, start feeling the building of that hamstring stretch. Should get a little bit more intense, and then a little bit more intense, and then a little bit more intense, and then a little bit more intense, until it's time for us to start. We're going to add a little bit of movement now. We're going to bend one leg. We're going to straighten out the other leg. We're going to fold our belly button down into the ground. And then we're going to switch the leg that is bent and switch the leg that's straight. All right. So we're going to go wee, boom, other side. And then back. And then back. And then back. Oh, and then back. Right now, I want you to focus on that intensity in your hamstrings and keep on bringing the belly button down to the ground. If you got a little bit more comfortable, all of a sudden you're like, oh, this isn't so bad. Focus on bringing your belly button a little bit deeper. You might also be feeling this sort of here in your glutes. That is likely because your hamstrings turn into tendons and your tendons connect into the bottom of your pelvis. When you're folded over like this, the bottom of your pelvis kind of feels like your butt muscles. All right. Ugh. Ah. Ooh. Ah. Keep going. Couple more reps. You might also feel a little tingliness in your toes, in your calves. That's often because of something called nerve stretching, nerve flossing, nerve gliding. Those are all basically the same concept, and it just means your nerves, which are not just magical things that people talk about when you have butterflies in your stomach. Your nerves are real physical things that look like strings, a web all throughout your body. When you're folded over like this, they get stretched. They have to shift around in your body. And that tingliness is your body letting you know your nerves are getting tweaked and they're moving a little bit. All right. And for the most part, it's going to be okay. So you don't have to worry too much about it while we're here. Cool. All right. Pop into a little bit of a squat. Oh, come on back into standing. And we're going to move on into warm-up exercise number 3. What we're going to do is called the thoracic rotation, all right? The thoracic spine is between your neck and your low back. It's like right around here for most people. And it's designed to move really, 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 really well. Like, for example, rounding to the sides, rounding forward, doing a back bridge type thing, going backwards, and also twisting. All right. So what we're going to do next is called thoracic rotation. We're going to do a little bit of twisting. And if this is scary for you, your doctor does not recommend this, feel free to stop. If you're ready, we're going to get into it. One leg is bent, one leg is straight, just like before. And we're going to fold our belly buttons down to horizontal. So it's very similar to our previous setup. All right. From here, we're going to take the arm from the bent leg side. We're going to reach across the body to the straight leg side. We're going to push against that shin. We're going to help use that pushing to open up and rotate the upper body. Ah. I want you to reach up into the air with your other hand. I want you to rotate your neck so that your eyes are looking at your hand or as close to it as possible. And I want you to reach back over that shoulder. Inhale a little bit. Exhale. On that exhale, see if you can reach a little bit further. Whew, that is half a rep. We're going to do 5 of these in total. So let's go ahead and do the other rep. This leg is now bent. This leg is now straight. We're reaching across the body to that leg. We're pushing against that shin. We're opening up. Breathe. Breathe again. And open up into a deeper stretch. Whew. That is officially 1 rep. We got 4 more to go. Let's do it. Bent leg, straight leg. Bent arm, straight leg. Open. Open, 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 open. Reach the other hand up. Rotate the neck. Look at that hand. Breathe and reach. That's 2. Other side. Whew. 2 reps. 3 more to go. Let's go. Bent leg, straight leg. Bent arm, straight leg. Open, 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 open. Breathe. Other side. Bent leg, bent arm, straight leg. Boom. Open. Breathe. Exhale. Reach. That is 3. We got 2 more. Bent leg, straight leg. Bent arm, straight leg. Open. Breathe. Exhale and reach. That's 4. Other side. Oh, we got one last one left. If you're feeling like we're going a little fast, don't worry. I explained for a lot of time. For everything else, you always have enough time to catch up. Breathe, and let's go. Bent leg, straight leg. Bent arm, straight leg. Push and open and reach. Open. Exhale. Reach. One more for good measure. And reach. Whew. Other side. Bent leg, bent arm, straight leg. Push and reach. Breathe. Exhale. Exhale. And that is our thoracic rotation. So we're just doing 5 reps. Hopefully your back is feeling a little bit looser now, and maybe your shoulders are a little bit tired because they almost never reach that far back to do anything of use. And we don't have to worry about that because that's the only time you're doing that for the whole entire show. Just a couple of those reaches from side to side. We're gonna move on into our 4th and final warm-up exercise. All right. What we're doing next is called the Cossack switch. And it looks a little bit like this. We're going to open up our legs decently wide. We're going to drop down into a deep squat on one side and basically a side split on the other side. From here, with our butt as low as we can get, we're going to scoot our hips over to the other side. We're going to pause, we're going to squish, and then we're going to come back. And pause and squish. That is 1 rep. For most of us, our ankles, our knees, our hips are not going to be ready for that. So let's prep our body. What I want you to do is, from a standing position, try your best to come down into a deep-ish squat. If you do not have crazy squat settings unlocked yet, and your heels are a little bit high up off the ground, that's absolutely okay. In fact, I recommend it. That way, you get a nice Achilles tendon stretch. You get a nice calf stretch. You get to focus on bringing your chest down to your knees, and you get to focus on leaning forward. Whew. From here, breathe, relax, chill, and if you're feeling comfortable here, I want you to add a little bit of movement. All right, I'm gonna spin around and show you what I mean. I want you to push one knee ahead. I want you to push the other knee ahead. I want you to open one leg out. I want you to push the other leg out. I want you to do a little dance. Shimmy, 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 shimmy to the left, shimmy to the right. Do a little jazz hands. Just add a little bit of movement. Get your ankles, get your knees, get your hips ready for what is coming next. I think we're about ready. Let's get into some Cossack switches. All right. So for the Cossack switch, what I recommend you do is from that squat position, stick your hands straight down into the ground. All right. From here, we're going to extend. We're going to stick one leg out to the side, like so. And then the other leg, we're going to get this heel down. When your heel is down and the fleshy part underneath your big toe and the fleshy part underneath your pinky toe are down, they form a tripod. All right. Heel, fleshy part, big toe, fleshy part, pinky toe, tripod. That is going to help you stay way more stable. It's going to help us stay in control while we do all this shifting from side to side, right? So from here, once your foot is down on the tripod, we're going to try and get as low as we can. If you get stuck, like right here, and you're like, I can't go any further, that's absolutely fine. If you are able to get deeper, get deeper. From here, we're going to move our butts over to the other side. If you're higher up and you're like, oh, no big deal, no problem, awesome. If you need a little bit of assistance because you're lower down and your hips are going crazy, you can put your hands down to help bring yourself over to the other side. All right. Once you're here at the other side, I want you to try and breathe, and I want you to exhale. Try to squish a little bit deeper into that hip, into that ankle, and see if you can get just a little bit deeper. It doesn't have to be as exaggerated as me just dropping down. I'm exaggerating so you can see the difference. All right. From here, we're going to do it again. We're going to come back. Put those hands down, come across the other side, squish and breathe. And that is 1 rep. I hope you got enough information to get started because we're doing 10 of these. Let's go. Heels down for stability. Hands down for support. Across. Squish. Back. Squish. That's 1 rep. Keep going. across, squish, back, squish. Again, if you are higher up in the air and it looks more like this, it's absolutely fine. Across, squish, back, squish. That's 3. Across, squish, back, squish. That's 4. Keep going. 5, and back. 6, and back. If you don't need to use your hands, feel free not to use your hands. If you want to make these harder, you can try and sit up a little bit straighter. Imagine there's a little string sticking right into the top of the ceiling. You're like a spider's butt is your head. You just whee. Anyways, I'm not sure where this was going. From here, you might need to extend your hands out in front of you to help counterbalance because your chest isn't as forward as before. Now you can keep going. I think this is 8. At this point, if the inside of your knee is getting a little achy, it's not handling this side to side motion too well, you can focus on popping up, popping across, popping down, and chilling for a second, then coming up, coming across, coming back down. All right. This takes a little bit of burden off of this in between phase and turns it more into a couple of squats. All right. One more. Last one. Up, across, down, up, across, down, and that is 10 Cossack switches. We have finished our warm-ups. If that sentence scares you because it's your first time on the live, don't worry. This is a warm-up for a splits show. We are done with our warm-up. We're done sweating and doing reps and things that look like cardio. We are moving on into some stretches. All right. The first thing that we're doing is a hamstring stretch. I recommend you go grab a cushion, something to pad your knee, because we're setting up like this with one knee down, one leg straight, belly button folding forward. Go ahead, go grab some cushioning, grab a sip of water, and we will be right back into it. I have some foam gym flooring stuff. You don't need fancy gym flooring stuff for you to get started. Dirty towel, roll it up, stick it on your knee, flip flops, put it under your knee. Old shoes you don't care about, fold it up, put it under your knee. I don't know why you would fold your shoes. Whew, it's hot. I'm sweating. Next, once you got your gear, we're ready to move on. I want you to drop down on one knee. I want you to drop down the other knee right next to it. I want you to look down at your hips. I want you to notice how square they are, right? The left side of your hip is right where your left shoulder is. The right side of your hip is right where your right shoulder is. And here, nice and neutral. We want to maintain that squaredness even when we're not directly above or below our shoulders, right? That's a super confusing thing. I've never said that before. So if that didn't make any sense, just ignore me. All right. Next, we're sticking one leg out directly in front. I don't want you to get in a situation where that leg is in front and all of a sudden you start pushing that leg out way, 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 way forward. So now that the left side of your hip is way out there, the right side of your hip is way back there, and your whole body is twisting. All right. That is not what we want. We want that neutral position where the left and right side of your hips are right next to each other, and we want to fold from there. Hopefully that makes more sense with my left shoulder, right shoulder thing that I was trying to say earlier. All right. From here, fold. Fold forward. Fold and try to breathe. Try to relax a little bit. Exhale, grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to. Just try your best to relax. Whew. Breathe. Every time you exhale, see if you can sink a little bit deeper into the stretch. And if your knees are getting a little bit achy, you can give it a slight bend. That tiny, tiny, tiny bend will take a whole bunch of pressure off the knee joint, and it won't reduce the hamstring stretch by that much. And you can focus on bringing your chest down first, and then finally straightening out your leg for that final little bit when you need to. Okay? Where are we at? I hope you're relaxed. It's time to level up the difficulty. We're going to do something I call the inhale, exhale, fold next. It is very descriptive in that we are doing exactly as it says. We're going to take a big breath in on the inhale. We're going to exhale nice and slow. And as we exhale, we're going to fold our belly button down deeper towards the thigh. All right? So let's go ahead. Let's begin. Inhale. Exhale and fold. You should be in a much deeper stretch. Your hamstrings should be feeling it, and everything should be okay, but it should not be comfortable. I want you to keep breathing. I want you to keep trying to relax. Relax your toes, relax your feet, relax your calves, relax your hamstrings if those were relaxed. Relax your glutes, relax your low back, and just drape your body over that leg. All right. Whew. Keep on breathing. One or two more breaths. And drape your body over that leg. Next up, we're going to do one more inhale, exhale, fold. All right, you ready? Let's do it. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Bring that belly button down. Fold, 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 fold. And once you're as deep as you can get for the moment, we're going to count to 30 from here, or we're going to count down from 30 from here. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23. This is a good time to remind you, if you're a regular, you've been doing this for a while, not every day has to be a 100% day. All right. If you're feeling sick, if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling a little under the weather for whatever reason, emotionally, physically, whatever, if today is a 70% day, today is a 70% day. You don't have to push to your limits every single day. That is how you get injured. All right. If you need to take some time off, take some time off. If you need to take it a little bit chiller than usual, take it a little bit chiller than usual. That's absolutely okay. I give you permission. I feel like I should have kept counting, because now we're going to be suffering for even longer. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Last couple of breaths. Keep on breathing. See if you can bring your belly button a little bit lower. See if you can straighten out your knee a little bit more. 3, 2, 1, 0. Woo-hoo! That is our hamstring stretch. I need a sneeze. Ow! Oh man. Whew. Cool. Good. All right. That is our first hamstring stretch. We got to do the second one because we've only done one side. Let's drop that knee again. Take a look at what your hips are doing. Remember, we're trying to keep them relatively neutral, and let's extend the other leg out. All right. Again, we're not trying to do a front split. We're not trying to reach one leg real far forward. Keep it nice and controlled, tucked in, and ready. Let's fold. Fold that belly button down. Fold it down some more. Fold some more. And now let's drape our bodies over that leg. Breathe, exhale. Grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to help you relax. All right. Again, if your knee's a little achy, you can give it a slight bend, take some stress off that knee. You can always add it back in later. Okay. From here, one more breath, and then we're gonna inhale, exhale, fold. All right. Let's go. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Right now, if you're feeling a whole bunch of pressure in the back of your neck, in your upper back, in your shoulders, in your mid back, you're trying too hard. If you're trying to smash your face into your knees as you fold, you're working too hard. This stretch comes from the angle of your hips. It comes from you bring that belly button down towards that leg. All right. So everything else, that's extra. If your back is arched because you're chilling and you're relaxing, you're draping your body, great. If your back is arched because you're trying to stab your knee into your face really hard and you're working for it, you're working too much. Chill out. All right. From here, we're ready to continue to breathe. And then we're going to do one more inhale, exhale, fold. All right, let's go. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Fold, 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 fold. 30 seconds. Let's do it. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21. Keep breathing. Keep trying to drape your body over that leg. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. Come on out of that stretch. Bend the knee. Ugh. Come on back. Whoo! That is our first stretch. That's our hamstring stretch. We're going to move on into our second stretch. It is called the butterfly. All right? Because it is really hot on the East Coast right now. I am sweating like crazy. That's going to mean that I'm going to slide around on the floor if I sit on the floor without something with a little bit more friction. That might not be the same for you. Maybe you are not wearing shorts and you're not leaking sweaty juices all over your floor. You don't need the extra friction. What you do is up to you. But I'm sitting on this foam, not for any other reason other than because it's a little grippier than my floor is when I am sweating. All right. So next up, we are going to get into the second stretch. It is called the butterfly. What I want you to do is rest your butt, your mid back, your shoulders, your head against the wall. And we're going to bring our feet together and pull it into our groin. This is our starting position for the butterfly stretch. All right. The goal of this stretch is to stretch out your groin muscles. The way we do that is by bringing your knees down into the ground. All right. I want you to get stronger anytime you're doing a stretch with me. So I want you to use your outer thigh muscles. I want you to use your glutes. And I want you to pull your knees down into the ground so that your feet, instead of touching like this, they go wee like that. All right. Open, 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 open. Pull yourself into a deeper stretch. If you're new to the show, you're joining in for the first time, you're like, I have no idea what muscles you're talking about. My knees don't move. That's absolutely okay. If you're feeling a stretch here in the groin, if you saw your knee popped out just the fanciest little bit, you're doing good. All right. From here, we're going to take our hands. We're going to push down against our legs. All right. We're going to breathe and exhale and push. Hopefully, your legs went down a little bit deeper. Keep breathing and keep pushing. And you should feel a little bit of pressure in your shoulders. You should feel a little bit of pressure in the back of your head when you push your legs down. That's because your hands are pushing your legs down, your shoulders are pushing your body back into the wall. That's normal. That's okay. 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. Keep on pushing those legs down as you breathe. As you exhale, see if you can push just a little bit harder. 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. That's the entire stretch. Let your hands go. If your wrists are tired because you were pushing your legs down so hard, you can give them a little flop with your hands, a little T-Rex flop. And next, I want you to flap the wings of your butterfly. I want you to lift the knee, drop the knee, 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 flap, 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 flap. If your legs are not quite up for the task, they're really struggling to move right now, it might benefit you to grab that leg and go shake it out. Come on, we got stuff to do. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. And the other side. Wake up, 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 wake up. Once you've shaken out the legs a little bit, they should move a little bit more freely and you should have a little bit more control. Hopefully, that's the case because we're ready to move on to third stretch, standing pancake. All right, come on back into standing. If you still have a cushion or you're using something, you can toss it to the side. We don't need it anymore. Whew, we're going to get into some standing pancake. What I want you to do is stand up nice and tall, then open up your legs pretty wide. All right. From here, if you have gotten to the point where your hips are starting to hurt right here and right here, you've gone too far. Bring your legs back in just a little bit. All right. From here, when your hips are okay, we're ready to forward. Bring that belly button down into the ground. Whee! Here we are. This is our starting position. From the side, it looks a little bit like this. Boom. Okay. Looks like we're just trying to touch your toes, except the legs are wide. All right. From here, let's talk about the standing pancake. The goal of the pancake is to fold your body in between your legs as deep as you can. And it's really hard. So we want to do the version that gravity helps the most with. In that case, it's the standing pancake. What I want you to do is try to keep your upper body as close to horizontal as possible. That is when gravity will be feeling the most intense and applying the most force right here to your hips, letting you fold forward. If you want something more intense, you're like, this isn't hard enough, I need more. You can extend your arms past your head so that your biceps are by your ears and you can breathe. Gravity should pull you down, everything should be even more awful, and you should be well on your way to a deeper pancake. If that's not enough for you, you can hold something in your hand and do the same thing, and that should bring you just a little bit deeper. That is how we're starting our pancake. If you can, feel free to widen your legs a little further. That's going to put more of a stretch on your inner thigh muscles, and eventually we're going to need that too. So the earlier you start, the better. All right, that's it. With your wide stance, try to bring that belly button down. Extend the arms if you're ready for it. And if you feel like you extended the arms, now you're going to fall forward onto your face. I recommend you stick your butt back a little bit. All right. Right now, our legs are almost straight up into our butt. But if you stick your butt back a little bit, that will lift your back up a little bit. And it'll make it easier for you to try to counterbalance by sticking your hands out in front of you. That will make everything harder and also cooler at the same time. So if you're ready, I hope that explanation was enough. Let's go. Bring that belly button down. Belly button down. Belly button down. 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28, 27. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. On the exhale, see if you can fold a little bit further. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. You don't have to stick your arms out in front of you if you get tired. You can always take it a little bit easier if you need to. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. Oh, put your hands down. Ah, that is our pancake. Whew. If your legs are totally stuck right now and you cannot move, that is relatively normal. I want you to put your hands down. I want you to lean into your hands a little bit, and I want you to try to wiggle your toes in, wiggle your heels in, wiggle your toes in, wiggle your heels in, wiggle your toes in, wiggle your heels in until your legs start coming a little closer together and you can actually stand. It might take a little bit of effort to stand. You might be stuck in this hunched over position. You might need to push off your knees. You might need to be in a little bit of a squat. Oh, and then come back up into standing. Whew, that is our standing pancake. It is quite possibly the hardest stretch in the entire show. So if your hips are tired, your legs are tired, that is normal. The big one, the big two, I guess, that you should be feeling is that inner thigh muscle. Its job is to pull the leg in past center. What we did was stretch it out by not pulling it in. We extended it all the way out to the side. But we also stood here for a whole bunch of time while I explained a lot of stuff and I counted. And we forced this muscle to contract a whole ton to keep us from slipping into a crazier stretch, right? You weren't able to slip into a crazier stretch, probably, but your brain doesn't want you to drop into that stretch either. And when you get stuck, usually it's your brain that gets you stuck. It's not that your muscles are incapable of it. It's that your brain says, hey, no way, we're definitely not going there. So when we are stuck in one of these stretches, usually the stretch reflex has kicked in and it's causing your muscles to tense in a way that you can't control very well. And that is what we took advantage of and then just hung out for a really, really, really long time to stress out that muscle as much as possible. If that sentence made no sense to you, I'll explain it better in the future. But know that what we just did, that suffering that you just put yourself through, makes your muscles stronger. And as your muscles get stronger, your brain realizes you do have control of that situation, and it gives you maybe a little bit more leeway and lets you go a little bit deeper. All right. So there's pros to the suffering, and that pro is maybe eventually you'll get deeper in your size. But anyways, bring your legs together. We're gonna move on into our fourth stretch. Whew. The fourth stretch is optional in that you get to choose between the figure four or the pigeon stretch. I'm pretty sure last night we did the pigeon stretch, so we're going to do the figure four stretch today. But both stretches have a lot in common. Both look a little bit like this. We're going to take one leg, we're going to cross it over to the other side. We're going to grab that ankle. We're going to lift it up to our belly button, and we're going to fold our belly button down to that ankle. All right. From here, it's going to look a little bit like this. Cool. We're going to feel that stretch here in the side of the glute, in the side of the hip. You might also feel it in the hamstrings. You might feel it a little bit on the outside of the thighs, and you might also feel it here in the hip when you're folding forward. That is normal. If you're regular, if you know exactly what you're doing, you can hop into whatever stretch you would like, and we are going to talk about the figure four. Let's go. The figure four, you get to lay down on the ground. You get to close your eyes. You get to relax for a little bit. All right. So sit your butt down. Ugh, 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 and lay down. Whew. Groan, make as many sound effects as you need to. All right. Cross your leg over to the other side. We're making this triangle shape right here. I want you to stick your arm through the triangle you just made and grab the outside of the leg that's not crossed. Oh, if you accidentally reach too hard and lose balance, you'll roll over to the other side. That's okay. You can just fix yourself. Oh, from here, we're going to pull that leg in towards our chest. All right. Try to lay back on your chest as much as, or lay back on your back as much as you can. And I want you to inhale. I want you to exhale. And then as you exhale, I want you to pull your leg in a little bit deeper. All right. We're going to do a couple of these, maybe two more. Inhale. Exhale and pull. Again, inhale. Exhale and pull. Once you've pulled your leg in deeper into your chest, we're ready to start. 30 seconds. 29, 28, 27, 26. You might feel a bit of pressure here in the knee right now. Okay. What I want you to do is give that knee a little bit of love and just hug it into your chest at the same time as you're pulling on the other leg. Breathe. 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Keep pulling that leg in. Last 2 seconds. 2, 1, 0. Ugh. Let your arms drop to either side. Let the legs drop. Let the legs flop to one side. Breathe. Exhale. Come back up to center. Let it drop to the other side. Oh. Exhale. And that is run round. We got to do the other side. I'm going to spin around. You don't have to spin. You just have to follow along. Cross the leg over to the other side. Reach your hand through the triangle and around the other leg. Pull it in and pull some more. Inhale. Exhale and pull. Inhale. Exhale and pull. And let's go. 30 seconds. 29, 28, 27, 26. Again, cradle that other leg if you need a little bit of support, if that knee feels a little achy. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. As you exhale, see if you can pull that leg in closer to your chest. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, that's it. Let your arms flop to the side. Drop your legs. Grunt, groan. Let the legs flop. To one side. Breathe. Let the legs flop to the other side. Breathe. Make as many loud sound effects as you need to. It's totally cool with me. I can't hear you anyways. From here, ugh, we're done with 4 of our 5 stretches. We're ready for our 5th and final stretch. If you're just joining in and all you've seen is me flop around on the floor grunting and groaning, I promise this is a 45 to 60-minute long live side split stretch and hip mobility show. We do this every single day at 9 p.m. to work on our side splits, to build a little bit of consistency, the number one most important quality, build a little community, and make the suffering that we do on the floor a little bit more fun. So if you like side splits, if you like the idea of moving better on the floor, having more mobile hips, you're in the right place. Keep on coming back. Keep on hanging out. We do this workout live every day at 9 p.m. And that was 47 minutes ago. Cool? All right. It's time to move on. We're going to move on to some side splits. Also, hit follow, hit subscribe. Keep coming back. Hit follow, hit subscribe. Again, hit follow, hit subscribe. We're going to move on into our side splits. Before we do the actual side splits, I want to talk about safety because I don't want you to get hurt and I don't want you to be unhappy and then not come back and do more side splits because again, this is about consistency. All right. So what I want you to do is I want you to set up by walking, putting your butt against the wall, and taking maybe one step in front of the wall. This is where I want you to be when we work on the side splits. If you want, you can go a little bit further, like 1.5 footsteps in front. Cool? The reason for this is because when we get into the side splits, and you don't have to copy me at this moment, but if you want to, you can. When we get into the side splits, our legs come wide, our hands are down for support, and we're going to be wiggling, we're going to be shaking, we're going to be trying to get into a deeper split position, right? Unfortunately, at some point, it will become inevitable that you will lean back a little bit too far. And all of a sudden, your hands are off the ground and you're swimming through space. You're like, no! And then you'll fall backwards. Ooh. If you are close enough to the wall, your butt will land against the wall. Everything will be fine. You do a little hip thrust, whee, and you're back in your side split. All right. If you try to do that without the wall behind you, and you're just like, I'm trying to figure out the side split. I'm so cool. I can lean back. Oh, look at how cool I am. Oh no, I've leaned too far back. And you start swimming through the air again, and you're like, no. Without a wall behind you to catch your butt, it's entirely possible. You just fall backwards. You flop on your butt, and then you keep going. You flop on your back, maybe you hit your head, everything is miserable. So don't let that happen to yourself. Stand in front of the wall. If you're concerned about it, because I scared you a little bit too much just now, that was not the point. The point was get your butt to the wall. And if you're not sure that one footstep is close enough, you're like, I'm still going to fall backwards and hurt myself, you can get even closer to the wall. You can go from like right here up against the wall and work on it from here, right? Safety is the most important thing because when you feel safe, when you feel comfortable, it's much easier to relax. And stretching right now is all about relaxation. All right? Whew. So where were we? Let's go. Stand 8 to 12 inches in front of the wall. For most people, that's about one footstep in front of the wall. Let's begin. Open up your legs nice and wide. If you're feeling tension here in the hips, you're feeling a little bit of pain, a little tingly right here, you've gone too far. Bring your feet back in just a little bit until that sensation goes away. From here, we are folding. We're bringing our belly button down. Ta-da! If this looks like the standing pancake, that is absolutely correct. That is exactly how we started there. Next, we're going to put our hands down on the floor for a little bit of support. If you're not able to reach, or you just plain don't want to because it seems like a pain in the butt, feel free to elevate your hands. You can use a stool, you can use yoga blocks, you can use a garbage can, you can use a coffee table, anything that you can put a little bit of pressure into that will give you a little bit of support and is going to stay stable. All right. Next up, I want you to see if you can widen your feet a little bit more with this support. From here, right now, our feet are flat, our knees are pointing forward, and our toes are on the ground. Right. If we maintain this position, at some point, our hips will jam into our thigh bones again and it will start getting uncomfortable. To prevent that, what we got to do is rotate our legs back 90 degrees. So what I want you to do is pay very close attention to what this foot is doing. We're rotating the whole leg back. Boom. The knee is now pointing up. The toes are pointing up and the heel is down. All right. We got to do both sides. Other side. Knee is currently pointing towards you guys, towards the camera. We're going to rotate. Boom. Heel is down, toes are up, and our knees are pointing up. Right now, we have rotated the thigh bone so it doesn't smash into the hip bones, so we can get into a deep side split. That means you're in a side split, and that means all that's left is the length of our muscles. All right? So, if you're ready, let's do a little wiggle to the right, little lean to the left. See if we can push our legs out a little bit further. Feel free to use the stool underneath you for a little bit of support so you don't feel all of the weight of your body pulling you into a deeper stretch. Keep on leaning. Lean some more. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle some more. Wiggle. And if you are close to the wall, you can try to stick your butt back and rest your butt against the wall a little bit. All right? Boom. That is our side split. See how low you can take it. If you got stuck at some point, feel free to stay there. You don't have to keep pushing yourself. All right? When the tops of your knees are pointing the same direction as the top of your head, you're maintaining that side split position. Okay? That means you can start relaxing everything else. Your legs are in the right orientation. Relax muscles. Relax your toes. Relax your feet. Relax your calves. Relax your hamstrings if they'll relax. Relax your glutes. Relax your low back. Relax your lungs. Inhale. Exhale. And drape your body over those legs. Whew! That is our setup. We're holding this for 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28. Keep breathing. 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. Do a little wiggle to either side so you can get a little bit deeper. 15, 14, remember your toes are loose, your feet are loose, your calves are loose, your glutes, hamstrings, low back, everything is relaxed. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, walk your hands forward. Pull your legs in underneath you. Grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to. And sit back into a kneeling position. Try your best to relax. Whew! That was our first side split. And more specifically, we were doing something that was closer to a straddle. That's getting into the nitty gritty details of side splits. You need a little bit of everything, basically, because side splits require so much flexibility. And you need a lot of straddle ability. So that was a straddle, and is on our way to the side splits. All right, what we're going to do is, hopefully, you've taken a couple seconds, your legs are starting to regain a little bit of function. We're going to stand up, and we're going to shake out the tension that we just put into our legs that's causing us to limp around like a drunk penguin. All right, what I want you to do is I want you to stand on one foot. I want you to shake the other foot out. Shake, 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 shake. Doesn't have to be aggressive. It doesn't have to be fast. I want you to just let that ankle flop around. Be super lazy and just go. All right. The reason why we're shaking out the ankle is because we want all the muscles directly above the ankle to be super relaxed. And when muscles start relaxing, the muscles around them tend to also start to relax. That is what we want. Now, stand back down on that leg. See if it feels a little bit better than when we started. And shake out the other leg. Shake, 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 shake. Shake, 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 shake. Shake, 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 shake. Again, if you're just starting out, you've never done this before, you can start really gentle. You don't have to do it particularly hard or particularly aggressive. You can just go woo, wee, like your foot is on a little swing and is going for an adventure. And you're giving a little push and just swinging back and forth. Hopefully, now that your ankles have moved all over the place and all the muscles beneath your knee, below your knee, have gotten a chance to relax, we're ready to move up to the hips. All right. I want you to stand and put all your weight into one leg. I want you to put the other foot down, but just the big toe. All right. And have that knee bent slightly. Right now, I want you to rotate the leg so that the knee bends towards your knee, towards your other knee. The knee rotates out to the other side. Now I want you to bring that knee in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out. This is called internal and external rotation. is really useful for general hip mobility. But for our purposes, we're just trying to get some of these hip muscles that were super tense to relax. So I want you to just shake that leg out. Shake, 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 shake. All right. You're going to use a couple of muscles here on the inside of the hip. You're going to use some muscles on the outside of the hip to help move that leg back and forth. As you get more comfortable, as you get more control, as you get more stability, you can straighten out that leg. You don't have to bend the knee as hard. The knee is bent in the beginning just to make sure you can see what you're doing and it's obvious. As you get more comfortable and you have control, you can straighten out the leg. You can just shake, 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 shake. And as you get even more comfortable, as you get more fast, you can start shaking so aggressively your thigh looks like it's made of jello. And that is how we shake out the legs, how we relax them. Other side. All your weight is on one leg, big toe, the other foot is down, out, in, out, in, out, in, whatever. As you get more comfortable, again, you can straighten out the leg, relax, shake a little harder, shake a little harder, shake a little harder until your leg turns into jello and it's just flopping all over the place. Okay, boom. That is how we shake out our legs. All right, we're going to move on into our second side split. Hopefully, you'll notice your legs are moving a little bit better. You get a little bit more dancey. And we're ready to go. Stand 8 to 12 inches in front of the wall. For most people, it's about 1.5 footsteps. If you feel like you might be too far away from the wall, take a step back. That's fine. 100% cool. Open up the legs nice and wide. If your hips are starting to hurt, you've gone too far, bring your feet in, back together just a little bit until that sensation here at the hips is gone and we're ready to fold. Bring this belly button down into the ground. Fold, 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 fold. Fold some more, fold some more, fold, fold, fold. Whew. Put your hands down on the ground if you can. If you cannot, feel free to elevate your hands with a stool, with some yoga blocks, with a coffee table, with a flipped over trash can, anything that will keep your hands stable and supported and help you balance is going to be great. From here, we're going to get a little bit deeper to either side. When we're folded forward a little bit like this, our hips open up a little bit more room for us to get into a wider split position. And we're going to take advantage of that by getting as deep as we can before we have to rotate our legs. All right, it's time to rotate our legs. Why do we do this? Is because we need the thigh bones to rotate out of the way so they don't smash into our hip bones, into our pelvis, and cause us to hurt. And that looks a little bit like this. From this position, our knees are kind of pointing forward. We want them to rotate and point up. So, boom, rotate backwards 90 degrees. Knees are pointing up, toes are pointing up, heels are down. We gotta do the same on the other side. Boom, heels are down, toes are up, knees are pointing up. From here, it's time to slowly drift into a deeper split. Because we did the first split, because we did that relaxation, you should find it a little bit easier to drift a little bit deeper into that stretch compared to the first time. But you'll probably still need to lean a little, wiggle a little, lean a little, wiggle a little, lean a little. And whew, when you're as low as you can get for the moment, or you're getting pretty deep, again, you can rest your butt against the wall for a little bit of support. It'll make things a little bit easier. If your knees are pointing up and your top of your head is pointing up, you're in the proper alignment and you can relax all those muscles in the legs. Relax the toes, relax the feet, relax the ankles, the heels, the calves, the hamstrings, the glutes, the low back, and breathe. Relax. All right. What we just did was a straddle. We're back in that straddle position. What I want you to do now is to walk your hands forward a little bit so that your chest and your face look like they're facing the ground. All right. If you kept the same alignment and you just pulled your hips forward, your hips should be, or sorry, your knees should be kind of pointing up at an angle into the ceiling, into the corner of the wall. All right. When you do this, you should feel a more intense stretch in the inner thighs. All right. The inside of your thigh muscles right here. That is called your adductor, and we need this for the side splits. So we're going to hang out here for 30 seconds. You all ready? Let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. Feel free to add a little wiggle at any time so you can get a little bit deeper. 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. Walk your hands forward, pull your legs in. Oh, grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to. And we just hung out in that position for plenty of time. That is our second side split. We're going to get up, we're going to shake out the tension, we're going to get into our third and final side split, and then we're going to start wrapping up. All right, let's go. Whew. Come on back into standing. If your legs aren't working too well, you're afraid that if you step out, you're going to start wobbling. That's okay. Take that first step, waddle around like a drunk penguin, and let's go. Shake out the legs, shake out that ankle, shake, 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 shake. Start nice and gentle, pick up the intensity over time, and we want that ankle to be relaxed. All right. We don't want you to be using your muscles to point the toe, flexing the foot, doing circles. That is not the point. The point is to let gravity and momentum do all the work, and for your ankles to be chill, for the muscles above the ankles to be chill. All right, other leg. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. You can shake a little harder if you want, if you're feeling comfortable with it. And whew, that should have us pretty ready for some thigh and hip stuff. All right, let's go. All of your weight is in one leg, big toe of the other foot is down on the ground. We're rotating the knee in and out and in and out. Notice the whole body is pretty much stuck in position. The only thing that's moving is this thigh bone where it connects to the hip, right? It's rotating in, it's rotating out, it's rotating in, it's rotating out, it's rotating in, it's rotating out, rotating in, rotating out, rotating in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Again, the knee is bent just to make sure you can see what you're doing. You do not have to do it this way. You can relax a little bit and keep on working those muscles. And you can straighten out that leg and you can shake slightly different. As you get more skilled, as you get stronger, as you get faster, and you don't have to do this all in one day, you can start shaking out that thigh so fast that it looks like it's made of jello and it's just going. That's what we want. All right, other side. All your weight is in one foot. Big toe is down, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Straighten out the leg, in, out, 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 in, out. Shake a little faster, shake, 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 shake. And not quite there, not quite at the side jiggle thing. That's okay. We got other stuff for you. All right. If you want, you can start doing some stanky leg and just make it fun. 1, 2, 3. You can combine both legs at the same time. You can do some more dance moves. Have fun with it. This show is all about practicing consistency. The more fun you have, the more easy it's going to be to keep showing up and keep on training. So, if you got to dance, do some dance. All right? But just shaking out the leg is just about relaxation. Doesn't have to be done in one clear, particular, super specific way, like the way I'm teaching it. As long as you're relaxing, as long as your legs are chilling, we're ready to move on into side split number 3. All right, let's go. Stand 8 to 12 inches in front of the wall. Usually that's 1.5 foot steps in front of the wall. Open up those legs. Right now, you should know what's too wide and what's not too wide. And let's go. Fold that belly button down into the ground. Whee! Boom. Hands down if you can. If you cannot, or you just don't want to, use a little bit of support. Stool, chair, coffee table, overturned garbage can, all that works. Next, we're going to rotate our legs so that our knees are pointing up into the ceilings. Okay? This is to make sure that our hips don't smash into our thighs. All right? Let's go. Boom. Heels down, toes up, knees up. I did it both at the same time because I want to show you that it's possible. Because we've done this a bunch of times already, and we've done it one at a time this whole time. You know how to do it one at a time. Now I'll show you can do it two at the same time. Boom. Here we are. We are in our side split stretch. And I want you to breathe. I want you to relax. I want you to drift a little bit deeper into your stretch. Lean a little left, lean a little right. Push and get as deep as you can. Sit your butt against the wall. Let that give you a little bit of support, a little bit of friction to keep you from sliding too deep into your stretch. Do a couple more wiggles. Breathe. If your knees are pointing the same direction as the top of your head, you're ready to relax as many muscles in your leg as possible. Toes, feet, calves, hamstrings, quads, glutes, low back, relax. Inhale, exhale. Sink into that stretch. We're going to hang out here. Let's go. 30 seconds. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24. You might not recognize this, but this is also potential for a pancake stretch. 23, 22. All you have to do is fold your belly button down towards the ground. 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. That's everything. Walk your hands forward. Bring your knees in. Ah, that is our third and final side split slash pancake slash straddle stretch. And we're ready to wrap up. Come on back into standing. Whew. Shake out those legs. And of course, as always, make as many sound effects as you need to. Grunt, groan, shake out that ankle. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. Other side. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. And put that leg down. All your weight is in one leg. Big toe, the other foot is down. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. Go a little bit faster. Pick up the intensity. Let the whole entire leg just be made of jello and flop. You are a wet, soggy noodle, and you go all right. Other side. All your weight is in one leg. Big toe is down. Shake, 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 shake. Pick up the intensity. Pick up the pace. Straighten out that leg. Shake, 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 shake. If there's anything that you can't do, just do the previous version, right? You don't have to shake super aggressively and be super confused if you don't want to. All right. Once you have shaken out your legs, we're gonna wrap up with some stanky leg. All right. Get low, pull that leg in, be graceful. Woo, rotate that leg in and out, and have fun with it. And that is our workout. We're gonna do a couple of quick joint checks to wrap up. I'm going to pop into kind of weird squats every once in a while just to make sure my legs are relaxed. You don't have to do those. I'll just kind of be doing them in the background. But for the joint checks, what I want you to do is a couple of hip circles, nice and slow, as much range of motion as you can get, and just feel what's going on in your hips. Oh, again, grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to. You have my full permission, and I can't hear you, so that's probably why you have my full permission. From here, you might feel a whole bunch of tension in a bunch of places. After the side splits, I feel it a lot right here in the left and right side of the hip. So I like to spend a little bit of time here going, oh, whew, and the other side. Oh, where is it? There it is. Oh, you might feel it in the front of your hips. You might feel it in your low back because inevitably we all have low back pain pretty much. So, relax, chill, breathe. All right, from here, we're going to do a quick high knee. And then we're almost done. After that high knee, as long as your knees came up, we're ready to move on. I want you to spread your toes like you can your hands. Spread them as wide as you can. If you can't spread them, that's fine. I just want you to try your best. All right. From here, I want you to bring your legs so that they are straight down, just below your shoulders, below your hips. From here, we're going to squat. I want you to bring your chest down to your knees as much as you can. Whew. And then I want you to push your knees forward so that they're going towards your toes, maybe even past your toes. When you do that, your Achilles tendon should be feeling a nice stretch. Your calves should be nice and tight in that stretch as well. And because you're so far forward, your toes should be working real hard to grip into the ground. And because your toes are working so hard into the ground, the arch of your foot should also be working pretty hard to keep you stable. Okay? From here, you're probably feeling it in your calves. You're probably feeling it in your quads. We're ready to do some calf raises. What I want you to do is put your hands down real quick, and I want you to come onto those tippy toes. Work that calf raise. If you don't need your hands, feel free to not use them, and do as many of these as you can or as you want to. When your calves are fried and they just don't want to do anything else, you can stop. You can come back up and waddle around a little bit, and that's it. That's everything. If you're able to pull those off, your toes were working real well with the arch of your foot. Those were working well with your Achilles tendon, with your calves. Your knee was able to push real far forward, put you into a nice deep stretch. Your quads were working hard to support you. Your low back was probably even working hard to keep you from flopping over. So we just put the hips, the knees, the ankles, the toes, all to work together. And then we force them to work really well together when we start doing crazy calf raises, right? That is the goal. If you're able to pull off most of that, then chances are your joints are working pretty good and you're ready to go wrap up and do whatever else you got to do today. All right. So that's it. That's it. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for hanging out, working on our side splits, our hip mobility. We do this every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern. And if you are not in the Eastern time zone, we started an hour and 12 minutes ago. All right. The show is designed so that people can hop right in and join in. I try to explain it enough so that you got enough to start finagling around, and that hopefully is enough to get you guys in and out and full of excitement about side splits. I don't know if that's the case, but fingers crossed that's what happened. If you like this show, if you like the idea of side splits, you like the idea of consistency and practicing a lot, hit follow, hit subscribe, keep coming back at 9 p.m. because that is what we do. I have been doing this live, I think at this point, like 499 or 500 days. It's one of these like next few days. I've been doing this live every day since December 1st, 2024. I started stretching daily November 1st, but I didn't go live until December 1st. So I get those numbers confused sometimes. Uh, so what that means is you can bet that I'm probably going to be here tomorrow, and I'm probably going to be here the day after. So have a lot of so's. Uh, Keep on coming back so that we can work on our hip mobility. We can keep on working on our side splits. All right. Oh, I think that is everything for me. I'm gonna crawl over to the phones. I'm gonna check out the chat. I'm gonna answer any questions that have come in, and hopefully I'll be able to wrap up soon after. All right. Cat Lady 41 says thank you. Welcome, Cat Lady. I don't think I've seen your username in the chat before, so thank you for hanging out. Thank you for engaging in the chat, and thank you for being here. I hope you had fun, and I hope you liked the workout. Mike G691 says movement is medicine over on YouTube. Nahir says work, work. Queen R is answering some questions. Let's see. Mansfield Family says, can't stay. Hope you have some recorded content on your channel. Subscribe to check it out later. Awesome. Yes, all of our lives are recorded and they're actually all hosted on YouTube after live. There's a couple that are going to be missing because of like internet issues or whatever. I have done a couple of these lives in parks, in train stations, in airports. So inevitably, there are a handful that have awful internet and look like they're like shot on a potato. And maybe don't watch those, or maybe they're not even uploaded. But for the most part, several hundred of them are online and totally watchable if you really wanted to. I don't think you need to because you can just come check out the live. All right. Let's see what else we got. Um, do 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 do. Okay, that's hilarious. Somebody wrote, "Slow down, buddy. If you push too hard, you're gonna fart." That might be true. Did you suffer from that in your personal experience and reminding me to be careful about it, or is it like you know something else? Okay, I think that is all of the YouTube chat. I'm gonna come back over to TikTok. I'm going to scroll backwards up towards the top first, and then I will come back down if there's anything left. Charlotte says, thank you, Ken. You're very welcome. Josh says, dang, this was a good one, Ken. What was different? What felt better? Was it because the pacing was faster? Was it because I had better energy? Like, what did you think made the show better today? I'm genuinely asking because, of course, I always want to increase the quality of the show. And on some days I just can't because I'm tired. or whatever. I'm jet lagged, and I can't. But when I can, I'd love to keep your feedback in mind. Because Josh, I know you've been here for a long time. You've seen a lot of lives. All right, let's go. Let's go. I'm scrolling up. 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 Oh, looks like it's been super quiet today. Do 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 do. Ganowski says I made it. Welcome back, Ganowski. And Ministry of Efficiency says my favorite stretch. Ministry of Efficiency, you should tell me what that stretch is, because I'm scrolling backwards in the chat and I just don't know when that happened. Chase says, "You got this." Amazing. One day I will complete this. Modern breakdown, you got this. All right. This live is designed so that you can be at a much less flexible point and still do mostly the same exact exercise. All right. I'm able to do a couple of the stretches a little bit deeper than your average person because I've been doing this live every single day for like 500 days. I might be short like a day or two, but like basically 500 days. And I've been slowly building up mobility this whole entire time. But that does not mean that our stretches are like some fancy, crazy like yoga position where you're like wrapping your arms around your leg and you're doing like crazy stuff you've never seen before. All right, all of our stretches start with the basics, and we're sticking with the basics all the way through. When we do a hamstring stretch and we're on our knees and we're just leaning forward, this is the same hamstring stretch that you've always been doing. It's just that one leg is down and it's easier for you to lean forward and let gravity pull you down into that leg. All right. Um, if you're stuck higher up, like here, and you can't go any further, all the other things still count, right? We're still trying to breathe. We're still trying to drape our body over our leg. We're still trying to pull our our belly button down towards our leg. If your knee is achy, you can still bend that knee, and all that stuff stays the same. Okay. Same for the butterfly stretch. Same for the standing pancake. I might demonstrate. You might see me doing something a little bit more intense or deeper than you're able to do. But that does not mean my instructions are going to be any different if you were or if I was in a less deep position. Okay. So modern breakdown. I believe in you, and you can absolutely finish the live. Although, if you're complaining really that the live is running long, that's a fair amount of feedback right there. If you find that you don't have time for the full hour and change of live, we have a couple of recordings of this live. There is a version that is no talking, there is no explanation, and then just shooting into the stretch, doing 30 seconds and moving on. And it's about 13, 14 minutes long. That's over on YouTube. So if you want to watch that for some reason, go ahead and check out the YouTube channel. The username is at splits on the side. So it's the same username as on TikTok, as Instagram, as YouTube. And I only have like 15, 20-minute videos, or 15 to 20 videos in there at best. So it shouldn't be that hard to find the video that says something like follow along side splits and is like 13, 14 minutes. There's a slightly longer version that has a little bit more explanation, that is using a slightly older version of the show from 5 months ago, probably, that will also work. That's a little bit longer. It's a little bit more explanation, but it's about 30 something minutes. And you can go check that out on YouTube as well. It's a little bit newer. It's a little bit more recent. I think I posted it 3, 4 weeks ago, maybe. So you can go check that out as well. All right. In case you need something a little bit different from what this live is, depending on your personal workout situation. Josh Tree 21 says, just did a super deep hamstring stretch. Amazing. That's awesome. The hamstring is one of those things where, at least for me, I've found that I'll go make a bunch of progress and then stall for basically months, and then one day I'll suddenly be much deeper, and I'll be like, "What just happened? That's new. I've never experienced this before." So I don't know if that's what just happened for you. You're just like, "Huh, okay, well that's cool," but that's definitely how I experienced the hamstring stretch. Over on YouTube, Dana Does Yoga says, hello, thank you. I love the consistency and predictability of your sequence. Great cues. I'll be back. Amazing. Thank you for the feedback, Dana. In fact, I'm gonna take a screenshot. I don't know when I'm gonna look at this screenshot again, but it is somewhere in my phone, and I appreciate it. All right, back to TikTok. We got some salud from Mimi, and happy Thursday from Travel with Roxy. Driving 405 says, "Yeah, relaxing. Sure." When I say relaxing, I really don't think you'll be relaxed. I think that you should strive for the concept of relaxation. Um, you should be striving to be relaxed, to be in a not tense situation, not tense musculature wise. Um, where am I going with this? Stretching and getting into a deep stretch a lot of the time is reducing tension in the muscles. All right. And we kind of very briefly talked about this when we were doing, I think, the pancake earlier. But your body has this thing called the stretch reflex. Your nervous system, your brain has this thing called a stretch reflex. And basically, when you get into a situation where your body thinks you don't have control anymore and has no confidence in yourself, it's going to say, "Oh, nope, we're not doing that. Cut it out. I'm going to stop you right there." All right. That's what the stretch reflex does. If you start getting into a situation that's a little bit deeper that you've not done very often, typically your brain, your nervous system will kick in and be like, "Nope, no way, you're not allowed to do that." And then your muscles will tense as part of the reflex, and you'll get stuck because there's too much tension in the muscle. All right. So when we are trying to stretch, when we're trying to sit in that side split, we're trying to sit in some of these moves, your goal is to get that muscle to relax as much as possible. Whether or not you're actually relaxed, that's, it's the goal, but it's not likely that you're actually relaxed because you're in this crazy position suffering, right? There is not that much true opportunity to relax during this show, but if you wanted to take advantage of the fact that you're completely warmed up right now and you wanted to actually do spend some time relaxing into a stretch, you can use tools like yoga blocks to get yourself into situations where you can be a little bit more chill, where you can relax. All right. When you are not 100% deep in your deepest stretch, you should be able to relax your muscles. All right. And I'm gonna just double check to make sure I know what I'm talking about. Sometimes it's not gonna be very easy, and sometimes it'll be very easy. The closer you push to your maximum depth, the harder it's gonna be to be relaxed, right? But ugh, ugh, boom, you can absolutely chill and hang out in this position. Scroll, doom scroll as long as you want, and get some benefit out of having your muscles try its best to relax in this position. Um, this is called passive stretching, static stretching, and ugh, it oftentimes is not going to build up a lot of strength. It's not going to give you a lot of control in your ended up position, however deep you end up. But it definitely is a way to get more flexible. And you're kind of relaxing by sitting in a stretch, not at 100%. Cool. All right. That's kind of tangential, but I hope that was helpful. Swigline says, "Miss some going to the YouTube live to rewind." Happy Thursday, everyone. Awesome, Swigline. It's good to see you. All right. I think we are done with the chat. I'm going to scroll back down and see if there's anything else I need to respond to. Oh, no. Oh, no. We were lagging? That's a bummer. Uh, Josh Tree says, "I like the part where you gave us permission not to have to be 100% every day." Awesome. Good. Good. I forget to talk about that because, you know, like I've talked about, oh man, I'm like so tired. Uh, Especially the first like 2 weeks back, I was super jet lagged and I was like, I'll express to you guys that I'm not feeling 100%, but I haven't really gone out of my way to explain that you also don't have to be at 100% every single day. That's not what consistency is, right? Consistency is showing up and doing what you can. It's not about doing 100% every single day and doing like the absolute best you possibly can every single day. That is how you burn yourself out. That's how you become somebody who hates whatever it is that you're doing, right? That is not what we want. Because if you have to do something you hate doing, it's very unlikely that you are going to continue and you're going to be able to stay consistent. So that's not that's not what consistency in general should be about. There's some things that are unavoidable, right? Sometimes you just gotta grit your teeth and go to work. Fine. But this account is called Splits on the Side. All right, this is something we do on the side. It's not our main thing. And if you're gonna practice consistency, you absolutely should take into account how you're feeling, how you're doing, how motivated, energetic you are. If you're showing up, you're putting in a little bit of effort. That is enough. If you're feeling really good, go a little harder. If you're feeling really bad, go a little bit less hard. Give your body a little bit more time to recover. Give your body some time to chill because you got other stuff going on in your life, right? We are not fitness influencers whose whole job is to be as jacked as humanly possible. That is not what's happening here. We are trying to practice some consistency, make a little bit of progress, and feel good doing the things that we love doing. Cool? All right. Ugh. Scrolling. Travel Doxy says it's also lagging for her. That's a bummer. Crackstats says I've been sitting on a tennis ball under my hamstrings at work, finding the knot. That is awesome. That probably is also really painful. Luckily, the tennis balls probably squish quite a bit, right? If you have a super foamy chair, maybe that will also help a little bit to take off the pressure. But if you're sitting on like a wooden stool, that probably is crazy uncomfortable. But if you've been doing this for a long time, maybe it's not uncomfortable anymore, and you're just like, my hamstrings are made of jelly because I have knotted and smashed those knots into oblivion. Um, that's awesome. I should do that. I'm gonna go find a tennis ball. I'm pretty sure the dog has ripped up every single tennis ball. Doggo likes to rip the fuzz off of everything that has fuzz on it, and I don't know if we have any tennis balls left, but I'll look into it. Bella says my knees hurt. Can you show me some exercises? Okay, I got some ideas, and I got some other people to recommend you to check out. So I will hold off on that for a second. I'm gonna scroll a little bit more, and then I will get back to that. All right. Crackstead says if we were to pass out, our bodies would truly show how flexible we are. Absolutely, 100%. If you get uh, anesthesia, no, hold on. What is having a massive brain fart when you're undergoing surgery? Yeah, it's anesthesia. Okay. Um, and they pump you full of drugs, and you pass out. Your body will not turn on that stretch reflex, and your doctor, your surgeon, whatever, will be able to move you in crazy ways you never thought possible because your brain just will never kick in to stop you from doing stuff, right? So the lack of flexibility that you're experiencing, that stiffness that you're experiencing, that is because you have a brain. All right. So if somebody ever made you doubt whether or not you have a brain, just know the more you cannot fold forward, the more you cannot move, the more your muscles are holding you back, the more likely it is that your brain is working just fine. Cool. So cracks that is 100% true. Swigline says, I find it outstanding how you're able to talk during the stretches. Um, I mean, sort of. I'm grunting and groaning and going, making crazy sound effects all the time. And then whenever I do, I go, hey, you guys can make sound effects too. Don't worry. Don't. It's not just me. You can also make sound effects. So I appreciate it. But also I've been doing some version of the stretch for a long time. So it's just is really just holding tension in the core and making sure that I'm able to enunciate words without letting extra air come in or out of my body. And I'm doing it right now. And I took that tiny inhale. But when you can contract the core really hard, then you'll be able to keep talking. There's a con though. It's very unlikely that your muscles will relax anymore when you're keeping that core super tight. So yeah, it's sometimes fine. It's most of the time. I don't think you'll notice the difference, but occasionally, if I'm super okay, I got an example. When we're doing that thoracic rotation, right? We're going wee and we're rotating, and I tell you to inhale, and I tell you to exhale and reach a little bit further. If I were to try to talk during that exhale component, there would just be no way I could move because I have to hold a whole bunch of tension in my core in order to be able to continue talking in that position. So I need to pause there, or make it sound really crazy, right? Like reach, 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 essentially. Because if I were like reach, 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 and I was holding that tension, I wouldn't be able to twist. I wouldn't be able to rotate. So there's like places where it works and places where it doesn't work. But it's a useful skill for a lot of different reasons, right? If you're doing a more advanced version of these stretches, there is a style of stretching called isometric stretching. And basically, you flex the muscles that are supposed to be stretched, and you flex so hard, you cancel out the stretch reflex. The stretch reflex, remember, is when your body's nervous system automatically goes, nope, we're not letting you do this, right? You can beat the stretch reflex by flexing that muscle even harder, and your brain will realize, oh, okay, we can chill. Like the muscle's already contracting, we don't have to contract. And after a couple seconds, for some muscles, for weaker muscles, it can be like 5 seconds. For stronger, crazier muscles like your thighs, it might be like 30 seconds. After you flex those muscles really hard, the stretch reflex at some point will chill out, and then you can eke a slightly deeper stretch. Once you've eked out that stretch, the stretch reflex will kick back in. I'll be like, "Whoa, what you doing? What the heck? That's not cool." And then it will try to, catch you again, keep you from getting deeper. And that version of stretching gets really difficult to do if you cannot hold your breath and you can like keep your core nice and tight and breathe shallow. Because uh, when you start taking big breaths, like normal breaths, you start getting all shaky and wobbly, and everything gets like a little too relaxed and too soft. When you're too soft, you're not going to be able to contract that muscle hard. And if you're not contracting that muscle hard, it is not going to cancel out the stretch reflex, if that makes sense. Um, so that skill helps, and helps in like random other ways. If somebody were punching you in the stomach and you need to be able to breathe and you kept the core nice and tight, you could be like, "Hey, stop punching me. That hurts." I don't know. That was a weird, random, jokey. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Crackstat says it's a soft chaha. It feels amazing. 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 Swigline says, but it's still very coherent. I can't do it. Um, would massages help make you flexible? Because when you pound the meat, say chicken breast becomes less tense. Conversation earlier narrow that thought. Um, I think so. I have heard, and I have not found anybody who is like an expert at this, and I've never paid for this service, so I don't know. But I have heard that there are people who are experts at making you significantly more flexible by basically beating your body into submission. And some of that is going to be incredibly painful and is the equivalent of like getting beaten up, uh, so that you smooth out the knots, so that you break down scar tissue, so that like some other crazy stuff happens. I don't know how that works, and I haven't seen anybody really talking about that concept in quite a while. There is like a legendary fitness coach called Charles Poliquin. I think on an old blog of his, probably at this point like 10 years ago, I had read about how he was like, I don't recommend people work on flexibility that much because if you spend some time and you find the right crazy type of massage person, they'll be able to get way better results than however long you're going to work on that stretch. I have not seen anything similar to that train of thought in basically since that message, since 10 years ago. So I don't know if there's anybody doing a really good job like pushing out that idea to the general public. But I do believe it's true to some extent, right? Because at the end of the day, when somebody's working on your soft tissue, working out your knots, right? Working out, breaking down the scar tissue, doing whatever it is that can be done to fascia. I have no idea, but you have like dozens of pounds of fascia securing your body in place. That's not your muscles. That's not your like tendons. That's not your joints. And they're super elastic. Whatever that, and there's like incredibly strong. I don't know anything about that either. But I've heard that fascia is crazy powerful and can be leveraged for making you a better athlete. I don't know anything about that. So there's a lot that I imagine really thoughtful massage expertise can do. I think if somebody's just focusing on your shoulders, maybe that'll help, maybe it won't. Maybe it'll do a little bit, maybe it won't. I don't know. But I believe there's advanced stuff out there designed specifically to crush your body into submission. Crush in like not actually break your bones, but like destroy your flesh until all the knots are gone. Anyways, we had a question about some knee stuff. All right. I recommend you go check out a guy by the name of Ben Patrick. His YouTube and Instagram, I believe, are knees over toes guy. His specialty is making sure. I just saw a mosquito. Is there really a mosquito in here? What? The windows are closed. Where did it come from? Okay. Knees over toes guy by Ben Patrick. He has had some crazy knee surgery, and he's gone from barely being able to walk to being able to dunk and coaching people about their knee health and like physical skills since then. His knee is so crazy looking because of whatever metal thing is inside his leg that you can see a bulge right here in the top of that knee. So, um, his philosophy is you have to strengthen your muscles to protect your knee, to support your body to move better. And I definitely recommend you check out his stuff. His free stuff is plenty to take you a long, 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 long way. You don't need to pay for anything if you don't want to. And I have done some of his free workouts at this point, probably almost a year ago, 8, 9 months ago, for about 2 months, and massive, massive improvement in this knee, actually, this left knee right here. My knee is not feeling so good anymore because I started running recently, and it's starting to get a little bit funky. So I might get back into more of Ben Patrick's knees over toes stuff to start taking care of this knee because I did it for 2 months. My knee pain went away, and I was like, "Oh, sick!" And then I haven't basically done any of it since. So, uh, me slacking off plus me running seems to have aggravated my knee a little bit. So I'm gonna take a couple of days off, and then I'm gonna start working on some knee rehabby stuff. But I'll give you a sample of what he's all about. His whole thing is you got to slowly move into the positions that are painful and build up tolerance for it. So a lot of pain is basically your body going, "Hey, that's dangerous. We don't want to do that." But unfortunately, your body needs to go deal with that pain, get used to it, accommodate and adjust to it so that it can stop reacting and overreacting to the thing that you're experiencing. If that sentence is really confusing, um, think of it as your body's overreacting. If you hang out and you put a little bit of pressure in that direction, not crazy amounts, just a little bit, and you start feeling just a little bit of discomfort and you just hang out for a little bit, your body will slowly come to recognize that it's not nearly as scary as it once thought, and that pain will slowly stop being as awful. And over time, while you're holding that position, you'll also get stronger and you'll grab and have more control over that joint. And as you have more control of that joint and you're able to do more stuff, your body will recognize that you're capable and it will accommodate. All right. Um, Patrick's built like a whole crazy business behind that principle and his knee workouts, and he has an insane amount of testimonials. If you look at any of his old videos, there's just like 100 randos going, "Oh my god, my knees feel so much better." And I agree. So workouts that help. The main thing is called the ATG split squat. That's like his signature exercise, and it basically looks like this. You are doing a split squat, so that this knee kind of comes forward, and this hip kind of goes back. Trying to stand up relatively straight, so you're feeling the stretch here in the hip extension. You're feeling this knee get pushed forward, and just trying to get low. All right, that should build up a lot of tolerance slowly over time for your knee. And that does not mean you have to start and you have to aim for that position. An easier variation would be to do it over some steps and sitting into it like this. Or you can go much higher. You can focus on keeping the knee a little bit closer. You can focus on pushing the knee further back. You can adjust and tweak it to accommodate what you're currently feeling. But the gist of that move is if you get really good and get really strong at that movement, you can just drop into front splits at some point because that back leg is what holds most people back. Um, and for the most part, your knees get stronger. uh, do I have anything else to say about knee stuff? His general other philosophy is there's a whole bunch of muscles in your leg, and if those muscles are working and they're coordinated well enough, they will help support the knee. In that, uh, they'll absorb more impact. They won't. So that how do I say this? Um, if your muscles are working well and your muscles are strong, so there's two parts, right? There's like the ability part, and then there's the strength part. So there's like a skill component of when you land, you know how to land. When you walk, you can use your muscles to support your joints. If you are in a situation where your legs are working well, you won't be like slamming your leg into the ground and sending shockwaves up into your knee, shockwaves up into your hips, and causing those things to hurt unnecessarily, right? So when you have the strength to do it, that's one thing. When you have the skill to walk in a way where you're not just stomping onto the ground for no reason, then that combination of things will help you move better and move a little with less pain. How do you train how to walk better? That I have no idea. But the general exercises that he talks about for supporting the other muscles are calf raises from a stretched position, which calf raises we did earlier is basically coming on to your toes, right? But calf raises from a stretched position. So a slightly more advanced variation would be to elevate to your toes in front, get that calf stretch going, and then come on up into that full calf raise. This takes you through a much larger range of motion, gets your calves stronger in general. There's two main calf muscles. The other one is called the soleus, and it only really kicks in when your knee is bent. So you can do a calf raise like this as well, and it's a very different muscle. And you can do the same thing where your foot is elevated in the front, your knee is bent, and you're leaning a little bit forward and doing a calf raise from there. So there's two calf raises in there. There's the standing regular calf raise that you expect. There's the bent knee calf raise. That's a little bit different. What else does he do? Tibialis raises. His tibialis raises, I think, have gotten a little bit of controversy on the internet. So you can try these if you'd like. If you don't like them, whatever. But tibialis raises are all about this muscle in the front of your leg. And what you're doing is you're trying to lift your toes up towards your knee. All right. And they should work this muscle right here in the front of your leg. That muscle actually goes down from like here along the leg into the arch of your foot. I think the idea for the tibialis work is as you get stronger and you do things like land and come down, the muscle helps you to soften the blow to help you absorb some shock so that you don't have a whole bunch of energy getting shot into your knee. I don't know 100% if that truly works out the way that training it with raises actually helps. I feel like you would have to get better at jumping in general, but I have found I had an old like high humidity nagging knee pain, and I did a combination of those tibialis raises against the wall, those calf raises, the ATG split squat, and walking backwards on a treadmill that's turned off. Those four moves. In about a month, most of my knee stuff was gone, and then when two, it was pretty much all gone, and that was awesome. So, on the topic of knee stuff, that is all I got. I could only talk to you from personal experience because I don't have enough expertise in knee stuff in general. Ben Patrick, knees over toes guy over on YouTube, Instagram, and pretty much probably all the other platforms. That's his field of expertise. So I recommend you go check that out. All right. Okay. What else we got? Ben Patrick, knees over toes. Yes, that's correct. Um, that's it. That's everything. I'm gonna check one more time over on TikTok and or sorry, I'm gonna check over on YouTube. And I am not Muslim, but I am seeing the mosquito again. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Did I get it? I got it. I just crushed it. I don't think it was a mosquito. It was just another bug. All right. Anyways, I'm not Muslim. Somebody just asked if I'm Muslim over on YouTube. Hi. Hello. Okay. We're ready to wrap up. This live has run 100 and something minutes. So we have covered a bunch of stuff. All right. I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed the live. I hope you're feeling a little bit more relaxed after our workout now. And I hope to see you tomorrow at 9 p.m. We're live every single day of the week, 9 p.m., working on side splits, working on hip mobility, trying to practice consistency with a simple workout. And I hope to see you soon. Hit follow, hit subscribe, keep coming back, and check out the YouTube channel and watch some of the other videos that I make because that would be really helpful for me. Cool?